見たとこたかが100歳かそこらの若造だろうがなめんなサダム
These are the top 10 anime where the main character is an anti-hero badass.
From psychological stories to over-the-top fantasies, we've got a whole bunch of anime that focus on a main character who walks the thin line between being a hero and a villain. This is Dan.
And I'm Lisa, and we're here to recommend you the best of anime with an anti-hero main character.
But before we jump into the listing, do know that we won't be including any super popular titles like Death Note, Code Geass, or others that are already considered mainstream.
After all, our goal here is to get you something new and interesting to watch, not just recommend the same old shows that everybody is already talking about. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's jump into the listing.
この戦争を終わらせようではないかひとまず憂さ晴らしに帝国の奴らをぶっ潰す
じゃあ始めちゃう
Starting off the list at number 10 is Suicide Squad Isekai, a brand new anime adaptation featuring several notorious DC characters, including Harley Quinn, Peacemaker, and others.
This story is about Harley and her gang who get transported to a medieval fantasy realm. There, they have to finish their mission and find a way back home. But if they fail to do so, the nanobombs planted in their necks will explode and they'll all die.
While the series has not yet been released, I'm sure it'll be a thrilling ride as we watch our favorite villain-turned-heroes race against time and save the day.
平和のための任務だ平和俺たちがキャスティングを誤ったな最強いかれてやがる俺頑張るねお前は満ちた顔しやがったな
Next up at number 9 is Angels of Death, an underrated gem that truly deserves more attention and praise in the fandom.
This is the story of a girl trapped inside a prison full of psychotic murderers who gets to roam around freely in their own designated levels. They have complete authority in their area and are allowed to torture or even kill people who trespass into their territory.
But luckily for our girl, a ruthless murderer with a body full of bandages ends up falling for her, and they try to escape the facility together, fighting the psychotic prisoners along the way. With a ton of action and mind-blowing plot twists, this anime is a must-watch for fans of the genre.
Rachel, 僕はなんて幸福なんだ
Coming up at number 8 is ID Invaded, yet another underrated anime that takes detective stories to a whole new level.
This story takes place in a world where detectives use special technology to enter a criminal's unconscious mind in order to investigate and find evidence from the psychological plane.
Our main character is one such detective who ends up on the other side of the law after a brutal incident in the past. The man is now seeking revenge and will go any length to bring justice with his own two hands. With a ton of mysteries and mind-blowing plot twists, ID Invaded is totally worth your time.
バラの世界なんだ。つまりバラバラが自然の状態なんだ。俺だってバラバラだ。でもカエルちゃんだけが全て揃い整っている。
蘇ったぞ。大神官のやつめ。天性の秘術で生まれ変わった俺を見つけ出し、赤子のうちに封じ込めやがって。
Coming in at number 7 is Bastard, heavy metal dark fantasy. Yeah, I know, it's a weird name for an anime, but hey, it actually sums up the overall vibes of the series. The story is about an all-powerful evil wizard called Dark Schneider, who gets sealed within the body of a child.
However, when evil forces attack the kingdom of Metallicana, they have no choice but to unleash the Dark Wizard in order to save themselves from total annihilation.
But luckily for them, during the time the wizard was sealed within the boy's body, he got attached to his young caregiver and would go any length to protect her. That said, his goal is still to rule the world and have his way with women, so there is never a dull moment as we watch a bad guy fight other bad guys and put them in their places.
For the 6th position on our list, we have Arifureta, one of the best isekai harem anime out there that has an anti-hero MC.
This story is about a class of students who get transported into another world, where they have to play heroes and save the world. However, one of the students gets betrayed and is left for dead in a dungeon teeming with dangerous monsters.
Clinging onto his life, our MC eats disgusting and poisonous things in order to survive. This ultimately twisted his personality, but also gave him overpowered magical abilities.
He then meets and falls in love with a vampire girl who was also betrayed and left for dead within the deepest floor of the dungeon hundreds of years ago.
Together, they escape the place, find new teammates, and explore the truths of the world as they go on a grand adventure seeking a way back home.
しまった。自慢の一品だ。注目してくれよ。
Halfway through the list at number 5 is Hellsing Ultimate, an anime with one of the most badass vampire MCs of all time.
This is the story about an overpowered vampire named Alucard who is contracted with the Hellsing family. His job is to kill ghouls, monsters, and other evil people at the command of his master.
What sets this anime apart is its brutal visuals and storytelling, which gets darker and darker with each episode. With an interesting plot and a badass MC, you are sure to fall in love with this gruesomely good vampire anime series.
プロテスタントに引くとでも
生物工学の粋を凝らしたリジェネレーション。
マフィアどもが見逃すはずだって。
Coming up at number 4 is Gangsta, an anime that focuses on the lawless side of a city and the two heroes who deal with them.
Our main duo, Nicholas Brown and Warwick Arcangelo, are mercenaries for hire who do the dirty work for cops and criminals alike. This puts them in a delicate spot in their business.
When an underground organization targets their city and the people who live in it, our heroes have to give it their all to complete their jobs and survive the upcoming war.
With a ton of action and a whole array of interesting characters, Gangsta is a must-watch for fans of the genre.
What's that? カウンターが鉄板入りだな。ナイスだおっさん。
もうグランキオは逃げたぞ。
At the 3rd position on our list is this masterpiece of an anime called 91 Days. This is a mafia-themed story about an orphan boy who is bloodthirsty for revenge.
Faking his identity and burying his innocence, our MC joins a mafia gang so that he can take his sweet time getting his new boss to trust him and eventually betray him, as he was one of the people involved in the murder of his parents. While the plot might sound a bit sad and heavy, it is actually much more interesting than it sounds.
Runner-up at number 2 on our list is Dorohedoro, a story that takes place in a dark and disorderly district, where criminals run wild, and death is just an everyday thing.
With no laws or ethics, the strong devour the weak, and there is nobody to question it. In such a place, our MC has lost his memories and his face after a mysterious incident in the past.
With the head of a monster and the body of a man, our MC embarks on a journey to discover the truths about his past and his real identity. With a 2nd season soon on its way, this is the right time for you to binge on this epic show.
Finally, at the number 1 spot on our list is a certain scientific accelerator, one of the greatest anime out there when it comes to having an anti-hero MC.
You know how you sometimes feel like a villain is so good that they deserve their own anime? Well, that's exactly what happened here. The MC of this show used to be the villain in the Certain Scientific Railgun series.
After his villain arc, our MC has now had a change of heart and decides to do things differently. Having found someone to give his life for, our MC goes on a grand adventure to save the world. With a ton of prequels and side stories, this is one of the best anime out there that I'm sure you'll fall in love with.
So there you go, guys. These are the top 10 anime with an anti-hero MC that you must definitely watch. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more recommendations, top 10s, and other anime-related content.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.